Hey, this is the Mid-Age Gamer Report for July 27th, 2012. This week brings more expensive pre-orders, prognostications with Gabe, Blizzard taking blows over Diablo 3, and more. On Monday, Dead Space 3 popped up on the Origin store page. This time around, the sci-fi zombie shooter offers single-player and co-op play in campaign mode. The game is available for pre-order now for $59.99 for PC, DVD and download, PS3, and Xbox. The game is scheduled for release February 2013. I personally could care less. Also coming in February 2013 is Crysis 3 Hunter Edition. This game is available also for pre-order for $59.99 for PC, DVD, and download, PS3, and of course Xbox. It has some key features such as the 7 Wonders of Urban Rainforest, which is basically New York City again. Okay, it's Crysis 3, it's a pre-order, whatever. Again, I have the details below. I don't feel like saying them. The only interesting part is there is an Overkill pack only available for PC digital download that basically gives you everything from the Hunter Edition, but it also includes some early multiplayer unlocks. The Overkill pack also features early multiplayer access to the Typhoon. It says here it spews 500 rounds in a second. The Typhoon gives players the ability. Okay. You know, it seems EA has a lot of faith in its marketing to command $60 pre-orders for 2 games that are middle of the pack at best. You know, there was the time when Crysis was cool, but let's face it, they pretty much lost that with Crysis 2. Yeah, seems to be a trend with these two, coming on the heels of Medal of Honor Warfighter pre-order, which was also $59.99, which I believe is also being released in February. I guess February is a big month for game renewals or game releases. Whatever. NVIDIA released a new demo called A New Dawn, designed to show off all the advanced hardware features of the new F6XX cards and featuring the requisite scantily clad forest pixie named Dawn, not seen since the NVIDIA FX demo 3 years ago. The demo touts full DirectX 11 tessellation with more than 4 million triangles, making up just the vines and forest bark of NVIDIA's latest graphics exhibition. I guess that's a lot of triangles for a tree. The creators went to extra lengths, pun intended, making sure Dawn's hair is extra pretty with 40,000 carefully rendered strands. Of course, there's the obligatory texturing optimizations, shader this and that, ridiculously complex quadratic equations, and blah, 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 blah. I have 2 links below if you want to see more, plus a link to get the demo if you want to try it out, especially if you have an ATI card. That would be fun to see. Okay, in gaming news that will make your heart flutter, then stop, there's news of a new Ultima. A new, not free-to-play version of Ultima called Ultima Forever is currently in development and in the alpha stage, but will be entering closed beta soon, according to BioWare lead designer Kate Flack. Unfortunately, this is going to be released on the iPad first, then on other platforms. No word on when or what other platforms, but I wouldn't be surprised to see a version on Windows RT tablets at some point. The game is based on Ultima 4, but set 21 years after the original game. Of course, by this point, you probably fell asleep immediately after the word iPad. There's a link to the story if you're still awake. And wake up. And now for something completely different, as the Pythons would say. Well, except it's not really different, other than the lawyers shaking their legal briefs at Activision Blizzard. Seems a German consumer watchdog organization, the German body of the Federation of Consumer Organizations. Why do Europeans have such strange names for their agents? I don't know. Anyway, they're threatening a lawsuit if Activision Blizzard doesn't respond to demands to highlight the need for an always-on internet connection on Diablo 3's packaging. Blizzard has till today, July 27th, to respond. South Korea has gotten into the act, fining Blizzard $7,000 US after raiding Blizzard's sole offices for what amounts to non-performance of contract due to the zero-day server outages that prevented even single-player games of Diablo 3. Victims of the outages suffered the infamous Error 37, bemoaned in many gaming news outlets. Since bad news comes in threes, the last little bit of justice concerns only partially addressed exploitation that allows certain character types, like the Wizard and Barbarian, to play with virtual invulnerability in Diablo 3. This affects the auction house in the game, where ill-gotten booty from the exploit can be sold for in-game gold or real money. At least they don't have to worry about eBay now. I have links to the stories below. Blizzard claims to have deployed a hotfix to address the invulnerable Wizard exploit to servers worldwide. We'll see how that goes. So, it seems Blizzard's unwarranted premium price, inclusion of World of Warcraft type a la carte pricing, aka auction house, and attempts to undercut eBay sales of leveled characters has come back to haunt them. It's bad enough that players can gain artificial bragging rights, but now they can fill their wallet too, and Blizzard can't do anything about it. Remember that episode of South Park when the kids were playing World of Warcraft incessantly to defeat a cheating player that was bullying them in the game? I think it was called Make Love Not Warcraft. Well, that's a real possibility now. By the way, I have a link to that episode if you'd like to reminisce and enjoy a little South Park nostalgia. Moving on. In mildly interesting hardware news, the next version of Thunderbolt is reported to run at 20 gigabits per second, using a new controller called Falcon Ridge, slated for 2014 release. At least the upgrade cycle is consistent. Remember how long it took to get to USB 3? Again, there's a link to the article about it below. In other news, the Radeon 7990 is delayed till late August. It's said to be powered by 4 6-pin power connectors, 2 7970 GPUs, and 6 gig of GDDR5 video RAM. It's said to be using gigahertz edition CPUs that seem to benefit from binning, possibly allowing the cards to not have to be underclocked like most dual GPU cards have to be. The release date is said to be planned around the same time as the upcoming NVIDIA mid-range 650 and 660 Ti cards. A link to the article below from videocards.com. Now for our foot in the mouth feature. Gabe Newell had some interesting commentary on Windows 8. Apparently, the Valve head doesn't believe Windows 8 is going to be a good thing for the PC market, in saying, I think we'll lose some of the top-tier PC OEMs who will exit the market. I think margins will be destroyed for a bunch of people. If that's true, then it'll be good to have alternatives to hedge against that eventuality. Newell's hedge is apparently Linux, with recent movements towards expanding Steam's presence in the Linux space, saying, the big problem that is holding back Linux is games. People don't realize how critical games are in driving consumer purchasing behavior. We want to make it as easy as possible for the 2,500 games on Steam to run on Linux as well. It's a hedging strategy. So Linux is held back by gaming. Apparently, the hundreds of disparate distributions, lack of standardization, and a need for constant fiddling for basic functionality has nothing to do with its small market share. Linux is a splintered platform exactly because it's not Windows or Mac. As a predominantly open source platform, it's impossible to get everybody in the room to agree on anything. That's fine for a desktop window manager, but it's debilitating to the platform as a whole. Nobody is going to invest in an architecture without a built-in user base. That's not going to happen if you try to force a market used to iPads to deal with the idiosyncrasies of Linux. As a former Microsoftie, Newell knows this better than anyone else. If the former Microsoft Bob team member wants to expand Steam into the realm of Linux, he'll have to leave much of the open source crowd out of the loop to succeed. In spite of this, Newell claims the need for open platforms. And he says, and I quote, we've been a free rider, and we've been able to benefit from everything that went into PCs and the internet. And we have to continue to figure out how there will be open platforms. That's odd. Since last October, he predicted Apple was going to be a big influence on game consoles, but is also quoted as saying, I consider Apple to be very closed. Newell's newfound interest in open platforms may have more to do with using Linux as a closed platform for his own hardware than any act of magnanimity for the Linux community. In this week's Windows Weekly, Paul Thurrott claimed Newell's statement was made in passing. Yeah, and so are Steven Sinofsky's blog posts. Finally, in the Mid-Age Gamer Guy's Editor's Corner, aka Rant, we're going to talk about the unofficial rules of FPS gaming. We've all experienced it. No, I'm not talking about the cheaters with their aimbots or another rant about campers either. Hey, I know when the horse is dead. You'll see phrases in the chat window like, "Don't attack the flags," or "I'm just trying to get my unlock," or "Don't kill anybody at the flag spawn." I'm sorry, but unless we're on an unranked server, I can care less about your personal agenda, especially if it's not helping the team. I'm also not a fan of making up rules on the fly or players whose only purpose is to screw up the game for everyone else. I'll bet you've run into a few of these if you spent any time playing an FPS. You know the scene. You spawn at your base and decide it'd be more fun to drive than walk into battle. So after foolishly jumping into the available seat of a chopper, tank, or whatever, I'm greeted with, "Get out!" insert expletive. "I don't fly with ass hats," or drive, or whatever. Me, I'd say, just go. We're wasting time. And of course, time passes. Then I get another round of, "Just get out!" And my response is, "We can go and try to accomplish something or just sit here." And the response is, "I don't go anywhere with," insert your favorite expletive here. And my response is, "Look, save the BFF crap for the unranked servers and go already." At which point, they either accept my viewpoint or unleash their inner 4-year-old. Either way, I'm entertained. Nothing's more fun to watch than a virtual temper tantrum while I give a blow-by-blow to the rest of the team, usually spawning a exclamation vote kick on the offender once they figure out he's hogging the attack chopper. Look, games have rules for a reason, so that everyone gets at least a chance to participate. If every server turns into an impromptu private playground, nobody's going to have any fun. Make no mistake, you are going to run into it if you play long enough. My advice, don't accept it. As I've said before, nobody has the right to ruin your experience so long as you're playing by the rules. The real rules. If the server admin bounces you for it, don't play on that server. And for God's sake, don't make any donations. Some servers are shameless about this topic. Unless you know the admins personally, that is. Some of my favorite servers have made me want to punch the monitor. Needless to say, I'm not quite ready to make a donation. It's strange that to be nonconformist, you have to play by the rules. But those are the breaks. Anyway, that's it for the Mid-Age Gamer Report this week. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you later.